Cold open question of the week, Kaz.
What's up, Shoes?
We got two wrestling news bites.
Okay.
Well, wrestling adjacent news bites. One, I guess, is strictly wrestling. One, news just broke from Shams of all people that Dennis Rodman is going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Mm-hmm.
Two, just earlier today, we found out that combat legend Chuck Norris has passed away. When you were a kid, who was cooler, Chuck Norris or Dennis Rodman?
I would. Dennis Rodman was weird to me, but
In his
Chuck
heyday?
Norris. I mean, yeah. I mean, even with the Madonna of it all, I was just like, yeah, it seems like a weird guy. But Chuck Norris was like the first like human meme. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, like he was
you're a little bit younger than me. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, like Chuck Norris was. I didn't watch a ton of Chuck Norris shows or movies, but like he was still just the standard bearer of like tough action film guys back when just like you can just be an action movie star and you didn't need range. You could just have a fucking life with just having ass kicker movies your entire career.
Yeah, you kind of needed like a legitimate background or a crazy physique, and then the world, and then a great publicist, I guess, because it was just like you just got one foot in the door, and then suddenly there were 15 movies.
Yeah. Nah, Chuck Norris was probably cooler than Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman wasn't cool to me until I was older. Like I didn't, I was what? The Bulls 3-peat ended in what, 96, from 96 to 98. I was about 11 years old. So all the cool stuff that Dennis Rodman was into probably didn't really reach my consciousness until I was like a full-grown teenager or adult. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, maybe you're too young for both of them. I'm the old guy here.
Probably.
Brian, you probably don't only you know
me and
Chuck
Brian
Norris
are the same age, by the way.
I'm just double checking. So Brian, Chuck Norris is a meme, and Dennis Rodman as a wrestler, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So who's cooler?
Oh, I was a Bulls fan, so Dennis Rodman was cooler.
Okay, there you go. It's a little bit tougher for people of my generation because I was there for the Chuck Norris heyday as a little kid.
Right. But what would be the today's equivalent of? I tweeted it earlier. I said it would be like if Josh Hart joined the Judgment Day, like right in the middle of the playoff series, right?
Oh, like Rodman joining at the NWO.
Yeah, that would be the Dennis Rodman NWO.
It was way bigger than that. I mean, Rodman is like the least convincing wrestler of all time, but he was second only to Tyson in terms of like crossover appeal. It was wild.
But when you see him get in that ring, though, like he's like a monster compared to those guys. Like him and Karl Malone is just like yoked to the gills, but they were like actual yoked.
Yeah,
like,
well, Malone for sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, Rodman would have been a fun wrestler as a fun experiment. He's like 6'9" and bony, and like whatever. Like send that guy to NXT, that could have been something,
Word.
But just trying to work a big match. I mean, skinny guys always have it tough. So, that was not worth it. Chuck Norris was definitely cooler when I was a kid, and appropriately so. He was like another one of he was like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Bruce Lee or these guys, except without like any build.
He's American.
He's just a dude. But he was legit and he was the American version of it, which was kind of second rate. It was like American. I was gonna say Cars, but I'm gonna offend a lot of people. It was like like it gets to a point where like some things are just better left to the overseas factories, and we can still make a pair of blue jeans in America, handmade, natural fabrics and shit, but it's going to cost you like $89, more than that, like $289, and it's going to be inferior. It's going to break apart.
Soon. Yeah.
No, it was they're both, listen, they're both very cool people. I do want to talk about Chuck Norris's most important pro wrestling moment, which was being the special enforcer. Was he the enforcer or the referee in the casket match between the
enforcer?
The enforcer, yeah. I mean, he was obviously enforcing. Sometimes they would just call that person a referee for the sake of publicity.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, between the Undertaker and Yokozuna, and he super kicked Jeff Jarrett to prevent him from running in and helping Yokozuna. Do you have memories of this match? Brian's already like talking along.
Yeah, Brian was talking to me about it before we even turned the cameras on. Brian, what's up?
No, this is one of those, like, I remember going to school and everybody talking about it. Because, like, a lot of my friends who were casually wrestler fans, they were into Chuck Norris. Like, I went to, Catholic school. So, like, there's a lot of people.
A lot of pro Chuck Catholics out there.
Yeah, a lot of them. So they were definitely hyped. Like, yeah, man, he was a wrestler. He was just kicking everybody. So I remember, I didn't see this match live, but I definitely went back and rewatched it. But Chuck Norris is another one of those celebrities that WWE introduced me to because of that. Because he was there, and then I was like, all right, so
probably
now,
because they always get him like a several years late, right? Yeah, it was a really cool match, and I implore you to all go back and watch that finish because the Chuck Norris part is cool. Sure, I'm not trying to go in on Chuck Norris here, but Yokozuna's the bump that he takes from the ring through the ropes and into the casket might be the most athletically impressive thing I've ever seen a pro wrestler do. Like Undertaker's at an all-time high, but he just hits. What does he hit him with? Just the clothesline again, and he he's hitting him with all the finishers. And Yokozuna takes the bump and just bounces like somehow of a man of his size, just slips cleanly through the ropes, lands perfectly in the coffin. And not just like he lands in the coffin, like he lands square, so that he lands on his butt and then lies down cleanly with no hesitation. Or there's no fear that maybe I landed in the wrong part. He lands perfectly, lies down, Undertaker slams close the lid. It's maybe the most unimpressive into a casket match in the sense that like Yokozuna wasn't dead. He it was only because of the beauty of his fall that he lost this match. Oh, Brian has it on right now.
Oh boy.
Oh, it was the big boot. Undertaker hit him with the clothesline.
Oh man, it was so perfect.
he switches direction in the process too. We're watching it right now.
Yo, them Samoans, let me tell you, son. Rikishi had like a similar...
How did he know where to hit his butt? Like, that was so weird.
Rikishi had like a similar sort of agility to him where he would get clotheslined the right way and he'd do like this like whisper in the wind sort of like...
Flip. Yeah. But it was like, it was the sideways flip. Yeah, he always made that look so good.
Jeez, look at that. Yeah, that was too smooth. Man, rest in peace, Yoko, man. What a dope wrestler.
Yeah.
Gosh. What a cast of characters. Jim Cornette, Mr. Fuji, Chuck Norris, Earl Hebner.
I love the double manager. Like, what a hilarious heel gimmick. It was just like, we got to give him, he's got to be with Mr. Fuji because one, we have Mr. Fuji under a lifetime contract and we got to give it, this seems like a good fit for him.
But you gotta think of the thought process behind that too. It's like, let's get Mr. Fuji because he is Japanese, even though he's really Samoan. And then we get Jim Cornette because we need a translator for the Japanese Samoan guy.
I'm sure that was the exact conversation. It's just like, okay, he's Yokozuna. So like, but he's Hawaiian or he's Samoan. He's not Japanese. It's like, well, let's give him Mr. Fuji then. That'll give him some legitimacy. It's like, dude, Fuji's Hawaiian, man.
But to my 9-year-old brain, he stood up next to each other, and I'm like, "Yep, Japan. Yeah. That's that."
They actually did. I totally just deliberately forgot about it. But they really did say that Yokozuna was Samoan, or at least non-Japanese, when they debuted it.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure that was actually part of the original gimmick. He was just like another dude who went over and won the title of Yokozuna.
Oh.
But I think just like with Muhammad Hassan and everything else, at some point it was just like, it's easier for him just to be Japanese. Nobody knows the difference.
I mean, eventually, they were coming around with a giant Japanese flag waving behind them every time he would come out.
Well, he's a Japanese sympathizer, just like, Sergeant Slaughter was an Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter.
They kept calling him a national hero when he won the belt.
Whose nation? Japan or Samoa?
Yeah, Japan. Bobby Heenan kept saying all throughout WrestleMania 9, he will be a national hero.
Yeah.
And Hogan has that, diabolical promo before the match.
I was about to say, Hogan was like, not a mile watch, brother.
Yeah. There's only one nation. Yeah. Wow. That's so weird to think about. Yoko, God. Also, I was obviously doing a lot of work on this Hogan book. Sergeant Slaughter was the Iraqi sympathizer. That was the most famous failure of a WrestleMania main event angle, right? They had to switch venues. They said because of death threats, but really it was because nobody really cared about it. You think it was because Sergeant Slaughter was right? I mean, I don't. In the grand scope of history, hear me out. This is not an opinion. This is a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scope of history, do you think that the left at America would disagree with 90s Hulk Hogan and his Iraqi sympathizer stance?
Let me tell you something. It'll be a split crowd in 2026.
I think that's why they had to move it. I think that was it.
Don't know where they were.
I think Sergeant Slaughter was just making
Brody
sense.
King.
Not just to leftists, too, to the hard right isolationists. Maybe a lot of them just saw the Sergeant Slaughter had a point, and that's why it was hard for them to buy the ticket. Anyway, we're so far afield. Let's start the show. Welcome to the Bassman Show with Kaz. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Shoes. How about yourself, man?
Good. No interviews today that I know of. No pay-per-views to preview. Are there?
Nope.
Can we make one up?
Talking shit.
We should do the next time there's a no pay-per-view Friday or Thursday. We should just do a full breakdown of a non-existent show. What do you think would be what do you think would trick people more? A WWE show they hadn't heard of, probably, or like a TNA pay-per-view.
A TNA pay-per-view.
Well, they would think we were telling the truth, but if we were just but
yo, Dave, you didn't know Saturday is TNA bubble fuck?
They'd be like, yeah, who's wrestling? Oh, well,
yeah, you don't know who's wrestling at TNA bubble fuck? It's like, yeah, man. It's like, yeah, they're really leaning into this new partnership, so they're using curses and everything. We have a whole half-hour conversation, and people are like, oh man, I gotta go check out this bubble fuck.
Yeah, yeah, we should be promoting it.
It's funny. You can just Google.
But I think at the same time, if we were just it's WWE death blow this weekend, there'd be 50% of the people. If we just had matches and shit, 50% of the people listening would be going to their phones, wait, what? How did I miss a pay-per-view?
Yo, on April 1st, do we tape on April 1st? Do we tape on April Fool's Day? Let's just blow kayfabe right now. On April 1st,
we're telling everybody right now, so we'll see who actually listens to all
on April 1st. We're going to do an entire breakdown of a pay-per-view that does not exist and put it out as an episode. All
right, Brian, put it on the calendar.
We're breaking down AEW titty racks on, great pay-per-view last night.
You're getting AEW canceled here somehow. I don't know. You are a WWE shill, though, so that tracks.
That is true. That is true. You'd be shocked. I think it's low-key a good week for us WWE shills, man. We didn't get caught up in none of the wrestling media drama this week.
What was the drama this week? Tell me.
All right, so boom. So Ricochet, right?
I hate you love it, but tell me anyway.
Ricochet, who I love dearly, one of my very good friends.
You call him Rick? Are you that close?
Just O'Shea, you know what I'm saying? My guy Rico. He said some things. He was doing his troll bit that he's been doing for a long time. And he said somebody deserved
on
to.
Twitter.
He's glad that somebody got multiple sclerosis. And people did not like that at all. And he's been getting death threats. His wife, Samantha's been getting death threats. That's not the issue. The issue is when that tweet first went out and there was all this outrage, apparently no wrestling media sites, blogs, reporters even mentioned it. But when the apology went out, everybody posted it, right? And as this thing was going on, there's been this whole talk of well, why is it that when WWE news leaks, everybody knows down to the last minute detail and what it is, but AEW stuff, you just kind of never hear it. So there's all this talk about people being in AEW's pockets and people doing X, Y, Z and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just it's funny how that works out, right? Mm-hmm. It's funny how it works out because in our podcast, how long we've been doing the show, because we openly spoke about our previous relationship with WWE, with our first podcast deal with them, and letting people know hey, just because we have this deal with WWE does not mean we're not going to talk about AEW. All of our AEW takes are actual AEW takes and not us doing the bidding of the company that we have a partnership with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you remember what it was like. It seemed like everything we said about AEW always came under the guise of, those WWE shills and yada, yada, yada. Like, I think everything we said during that era were like, were criticisms of good faith, right? Like, I think a lot of the things we said in that era was just like, I have no issues with any of those guys there. I've been to a lot of shows. I know a lot of people there, but like you couldn't tell that to people who listen to the show, or people on Reddit, or people on social media.
No, the people
every
who
time
listen
we
to the
had
show
anything
got
to say.
it. They understood.
Yeah,
it's just it's
just funny now to see all the other wrestling medias and podcasts being told like, oh well, clearly they're in the pocket of such and such and yada yada, whatever. It's just like, it's just funny. It's just funny how.
So what did Ricochet do?
I mean, he since apologized about the tweet where he said he was glad that somebody got multiple sclerosis.
And that was the drama.
That was the drama, yes. And it's just weird. It's weird how like.
Oh yeah. I'm looking right now. Wait, hold on. It looks like Meltzer said, or no. Brian Alvarez said that he deleted the tweet based on the advice of a friend, not because AEW management told him to.
Right. But at the same time, it's like.
At some point, you're just better off just standing firm on the "I'm glad you got MS" and pretending like you don't hear the noise, right?
Yeah, I am a big proponent of tweeting through it. Tweeting through it is my go-to. Like rule of thumb for social media: wrestlers, fans that listen to the show, listeners, heed my call. All right. There's 2 rules of Twitter. One rule is never be the main character. If there's ever a day on social media and everyone's talking about you, it's not a good day.
No.
But if you ever become that main character, you have 2 choices. 1, ignore it completely.
Yeah.
And just let it die down. Or go to Blue Sky or Threads or something. Or 2, just tweet through that bitch, yo. Mm-hmm. Just tweet through it.
Don't engage.
Don't engage. Just keep tweeting like you regularly tweet. And if people are hitting you up, just, maybe respond to one. But the moment you go silent and the moment you're like, doing all that, that's when I think it gets worse. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just gotta, if you live by the tweet, you might die by the tweet, but you gotta just kind of push through it, man. And granted, don't agree with anything Ricochet said. Definitely not a cool thing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a line between, I'm getting heat and I'm a heel and this is cheap heat. You know what I mean? Like, it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, it's not even good wrestling heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I can't tell if it's the person or the wrestler and nobody's entertained by it, you could have a put down that is crude. But I've always lived by the rule. If you're in entertainment and people are entertained by it, those are the rules of the game. Like, it's all good.
You said there's only 2 ways out. There's a third route for a wrestler, which is to like either, well, they'll all say he was in gimmick, he was in character, but actually turn it into a gimmick, right? Like have him just start wearing shirts that say MS on it, but it's like it stands for most sexy. Like,
yeah, the most sexiest.
But bad look all around. So there was a lot of drama about that. Apparently, I'm seeing it now. This is
definitely a lot.
That's just, you don't like he was an idiot for saying it, but wow, wrestling.
Yeah, he's an idiot for saying it, but wrestling fans are also idiots. I want to get that clear too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the internet wrestling community as a whole is probably the worst corner of the internet. It's the worst part of being a wrestling fan.
Being a wrestling fan. It is not the worst corner of the internet.
Oh, no.
Do not paint my brethren.
All right. As far as being a wrestling fan, if I had to put like everything that comes with it on a totem pole, on the very bottom of it, it would be the internet wrestling community. Like, as a whole. Like, it's one thing to hold somebody accountable who has done something wrong and apologize for it, right? It's a whole thing entirely to like send them death threats and send his wife death threats and just say awful shit. Like, you don't get point. Like, I don't know how, like, that doesn't balance. Like, saying something that maybe sort of could have been in character compared to I'm going to kill you. Like, two wrongs don't make a right. And
those are mostly those are mostly internet trolls, so they're sort of in character too. But it's not a defense.
But at the same time, you know, as if you're somebody with a lot of, if you're somebody who's popular, you probably get all that stuff all the time. You know what I mean? And it's the time that you respond is where everybody sort of sees. You know, so it's like it's an unfair balance. So all that being said, being in the internet wrestling community is
listen. It's a specific part. It's a specific stratum of the internet wrestling community.
If your avatar is like another wrestler, or you claim to be, if you have IWC in your bio, I just want to let you know you are stupid. You're a stupid person. Like, you have a terrible life. You need to do something else with it.
Wow.
There's so much more you could be doing instead of engaging in bad faith arguments all the time, instead of just being a mean-spirited person, instead of looking up for the negative in something that's supposed to be entertaining.
I know what you mean. You're kind of talking about more of the ringleader situation, though, because a lot of the people, my guess is a lot of the people that are really sending death threats and getting into the real weeds are probably have some issues outside of their wrestling fandom.
Yeah. And I've seen these people in real life. This is another thing we probably don't talk about enough. Like, when you see these people in real life.
This segment brought to you by Dude Wipes. Go ahead.
Yes. Get some Dude Wipes so you can wipe yourself, because a lot of you stink. When you see these people in real life, it really encapsulates why you should never spend time arguing with them about wrestling opinions on your social media. Except if you're on OnlyGraps. If you're on OnlyGraps, you're cool. But other than that...
Shout out OnlyGraps.
Other than that, once you see these people in real life, and I don't want to...
Yeah, tread lightly.
I don't want to categorize them all in the same sort of box, but a high majority of these popular IWC accounts that I've either met in real life or have seen in
you're talking
person.
About specific people, not in the general.
There's a handful of specific people that I've seen during, and you know, it's WrestleMania weekend.
Some might say more than a handful, you know?
More than a handful. Every WrestleMania week, I get to see a lot of these people for the first time. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to categorize them all. But for the most part, a lot of them are cool, right? Like, a good portion of them are just reasonable, just fun-loving dudes.
The vast majority, yeah.
Nice to meet them. But those guys that, like, make it their entire personality, that, like, make it their entire life, you know, I'm here to tell you, like, go sit on a cactus and twist, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, you're just not anybody I would spend, like, oxygen on. Like, and I'm almost ashamed that I'm even spending oxygen on it now, right? And not even just to come to the defense of you know, wrestlers who have said things off color or have done things, or like, it's the constant virtue signaling. It's the constant, like, just being able to my favorite company would never do this, and look what your company does, and your favorite wrestler is friends with this person who did this, and y'all took a picture together, so clearly by association I'm like, you clearly don't know how, like, real people function, or like real people, like, because you don't interact with the real people in real life. So I don't know. It was just a really interesting thing to sort of see unfold this week, where you can take something that was legitimately stupid, like Ricochet's tweet, and legitimately something that is not cool, and turn it to something completely and utterly disgusting and stupid, and way worse than any stupid tweet, which he has since apologized for. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get an apology from these idiots that will spend hours doxing and threatening lives and making up shit just for the sport of making up shit, so they can spend an entire day making something that's supposed to be entertaining and time wasting and just nice to like be on like your phone and just making it a shitty experience that truly messes with your mental health. So I say all that to say this. And I tweeted this earlier, but it's going to hit a lot harder if you hear it from my voice. Anybody listen to this podcast or anybody on Only Grabs or anybody listens to the Madman Show, I implore you to free yourself from the shackles of the internet wrestling community. You will enjoy wrestling more without it. You will laugh at the conversations more. You will not need to feed this tribalistic battle of billionaires in which you get absolutely no sort of benefit from in any way, shape, or form, except seeing some people wrestle. The only people that actually pay the real price for this type of stuff are the guys that put their bodies on the line to entertain you, to make sure you have a good time, like watching the show. Let context be your friend. Let the IWC go. Let it die. Keep the trolls and the nasty people in there. And if you're a regular person with a regular life who thinks rationally, just leave it the fuck alone. Don't even engage. Talk about some stuff you like, but just get the fuck out of there. If you're sitting in there just rambling long as you need to, you done lost the plot, man. You done lost the plot, and it's not fun. Because you know what's going to happen.
It's funny to think about like Tony Khan sitting back and watching all this, because at the beginning it feels like you got to just be like, oh, what an idiot, what a numbskull, but not a big deal. And then as soon as it becomes like a big story, then you're like, this MFer, I got to suspend this guy, like whatever. And now, am I crazy to think it's come back around like a full rotation now that Tony Khan's probably like, oh no, now I got to push this guy in defiance of all these people that are like shitting on him online. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I got to make sure that in the grand
scheme of things, what Ricochet did was dumb and insensitive, but it's not. He didn't threaten anyone's life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's maybe. I mean, yeah, it's not like he wasn't getting pushed anyway. Like Ricochet is an important part of AEW roster. Yeah, it's just I just had to get that off my chest, man. Like
I'm glad you did.
The IWC actively makes me not like wrestling as much as I want to.
We got to come up with, I mean, I guess we all know what you're saying when you say the IWC, but the internet wrestling community can be very warm and welcoming and cool place to hang out and all that kind of stuff.
In real life,
like in real life, but in real life and in fake life, but it's just there's certain subsets of it that are just insufferable.
In a couple of weeks, we'll probably be in Vegas, right? Like we'll probably do like a meet and greet and see people that listen to the show, and we'll be doing like our interviews and doing the press run and seeing the other members of the media and all this type of stuff. And it's all good in real life. Yeah. It's when you get on this thing, it's when you get that invisible armor where you feel like anything you could say is like fair game, and like you get the nuts to say things on the phone that you would never ever say to people in real life or in their face or anything like that. That's my issue. That's my issue with folks. And the last thing I'll say on this is you actively make the experience of something that's supposed to be fun way worse. And that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I didn't mean for that to be a rant. I'm sorry.
No, it sure was. And I appreciate it. Sometimes things need to be said. Let's see. You mentioned the WWE AEW thing. I'm going to make a real tortured segue here.
Yeah, go for it.
As long as we're in the news breaking section of the show, not breaking, but news addressing. It was announced again. I've been offline this week, so help me out here, both of you, if I get some of this wrong. It was announced after he lost the title lost it in the Texas Death Match against MJF at Revolution that Hangman Page would be taking some time off, presumably to address some lingering injuries. Is that news correct? Or did I make up the injury part?
I think that's news to me. Yeah,
pretty sure that that's correct. Yeah, he's let's see. I'm pulling it up right now. This is from Sports Illustrated. It says let's see. Oh, this is in the post show. Tony Khan said, "Oh no, that was separate. Blah 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 blah." Okay, here we go. According to Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful, AEW sources have informed him that Adam Page is set to take some time off from AEW programming. It's unclear if it's happening immediately or in the coming weeks, but he's expected to take some time off soon. So yeah, no injury news there. I could have just been making that up because there's been a lot of injury news. There's also the news that Josh Alexander, one of my personal faves, got injured at the Collision taping. He's had to be helped to the back. Something with his knee seems, serious as far as we can tell from these things. It could be obviously very serious. And Toni Storm is the real big name.
Oh, okay, that's what I heard. It was the Toni Storm.
Toni Storm has apparently been going to be injured for a long time, and was written off TV. Although I think though Toni was scheduled for a rematch against Marina on Dynamite, and then Mina Shirakawa took her spot, if I remember correctly. My memory is shot right now. So it seems like whatever the injury wasn't something they knew about for a long time. Right? That if she only found out about it after the pay-per-view, but maybe I'm just messed up on my timeline. Either way, who do you think AEW is going to miss more, Hangman or Toni Storm?
Probably Toni. Hangman, it gives you a nice little out because, he got his hung, 1, and 2, can't challenge for no world title. So better than that than like Moxley showing up the next week like, yep, I'm still good to go. Like somebody's got to let these death matches sell, and I guess Mother Nature took over. But Toni Storm is their biggest women's wrestling star next to Mercedes.
Yeah.
And you just teased the hell out of a match with Ronda Rousey.
That's the weird thing though. Because at first your take is they're setting up a Toni Storm Ronda Rousey match for one of their big shows, but were they just? And then when I heard the news that she was hurt, I was like, wait, were they just setting up Ronda Rousey to take over the division for 6 months? While Toni Storm is gone, or maybe you know what they're probably doing? They probably knew she was a little bit hurt, and they just said we're going to do this at All In or something, and we're just going to tease it right now. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Well, see, that's another thing, right? Like with the whole wrestling media conversation that we had in the beginning of the show. You never know what to trust when it comes to actual injuries. Like, all right, who's actually out for some time? Who's like,
well, yeah, and to make matters more confusing, Toni Storm was found bloodied and beaten up in the locker room on Dynamite. Like that was the write-off that they gave her. So it is both a lie and the truth.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you never really know any details. It says like once you hear an undisclosed amount of time, I think it's a work, right? It's just like okay, but. It seems like a work to me, but when like
a long time makes it feel like a work.
Yeah,
people are already like fantasy booking that she's pregnant on the message boards. This might be the bad part of the IWC.
There it is.
Let me just tell you guys, I don't think this is true. One, because, well, I guess now that I'm going to answer my own question from before. The reason why you schedule a match for her on Wednesday and then cancel it is to put over the backstage injury as the reason why she's gone. Right. So it's a disappointment, but I guess you're not just blaming the real life, so it's storyline. So if that's the case, to pull all these threads together, then yeah, maybe. I mean, listen, when you say she's not, well, I guess my other question was, is she pregnant? She's not pregnant because if they knew about it before Revolution, they would not have had her working that match at Revolution. She would not have been working that match at Revolution, one presumes. And no one's finding out they're pregnant in I guess you could in the 24 hours between then and when the news was reported, but that seems a little bit too fortuitous, because if they were writing her off, if that was the plan, which in retrospect it certainly seems to be, again, you would assume some foreknowledge there. So I don't know. She's gone for, but the fact that you're right that they say it's a long time just feels like, it's either an injury she doesn't know the extent of, my neck's been killing me, we all know what this means, or it's a lie, because you would say, yeah, she's getting her knee scoped, it's 3 months, whatever, or you would just say the time period. A long time just feels like, oh, they're tricking us so that when she comes back and attacks Ronda Rousey at the All In press conference, we'll be surprised, right? Is that it?
I would think.
Yeah, but anyway, I think you're right to go back to the very, very original question. They do miss her. They will miss her, and they'll miss her more than Hangman. I think that there's a not insane take that the division may benefit from her absence. It's not a knock on her. She's done a really miraculous job of staying out of the title picture for, of late and for long stretches of time, and giving the floor to other people. But the women's division is really doing really well right now. And maybe there's a chance that it kind of finds its footing a little bit more, finds its own voice without the, outside of the shadow of Toni Storm. Although it's crazy to think that anybody'd be better off without her, but maybe there's some positive case there.
But yeah, you said it in comparison to her and Hangman, right? And Hangman's the men's division, the main event picture in the men's division is a lot more stacked than the women's right now.
Sure.
So I think missing the Hangman wouldn't hurt them as much. I mean, you got Swerve,
right.
Kenny,
you got to find
Brody.
somebody for Tekla to face after she's done with Statlander. I mean, they're just going to keep running that until it's gone. But there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of other people you could do. And Tekla's just been the best. I mean, has anybody impressed you more? Between the time they won a championship and defended it a couple times than Tekla? I mean, I knew she was great. I didn't know she was going to be operating on this level permanently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been really good.
So yeah. I mean, injuries galore. I hope that all of these are works, and we're all complaining about getting worked by an injury in a month and a half, because I don't want anybody to be hurt. Hangman is just taking some time off. It just totally in a vacuum, though. It makes sense, right? He lost the Texas Death Match. Maybe, everybody should get a vacation every once in a while. Maybe Moxley's going to give him those 2 tickets to Mexico that he's had in his back pocket for 3 years.
And he's kind of been going super hard for the past year and some change anyway.
Hangman.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he probably just needed the time, for sure.
For sure. Absolutely true. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're right that the division's stacked. It doesn't need him. And I think, frankly, he works better as a Sting character. He works better when he's aggrieved and he then all of a sudden drops down from the rafters, once every 4 months or something like that. I think that, maybe this is just my opinion. As much as I love Hangman, I don't think it does anything for his character to be the trios champs with jet speed. I think that just makes him into in such a generic babyface category.
But I also think that was done to, take care of the Hobbs situation going to WWE. There's all right, we gotta get
there's a lot of reasons for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in general, Hangman is more interesting when he's just sort of in his own world than when he's one of the babyface locker room. You know what I mean? And so just to keep him sort of distant, I think is a good thing. Because when he's there, he's in real life the nicest guy in the world, apparently, and everybody's friends with him, and he loves to work, and he always puts on a good show. It's like how Dolph Ziggler was too good of a seller. Hangman's just too dependable in every single category, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what makes him interesting is when he's when you're uncertain about him in some way, and presence, continued presence just brings about this level of certainty that makes him less interesting.
Yeah.
So I think he'll actually benefit by taking some time off. We saw a number of returns or rivalries reignited, or whatever at Revolution this week. I got it. When Ospreay came out, I was going nuts. I gotta be honest. I had to rack my memory to remember why he was mad at Jon Moxley, even though Jon Moxley is the one that put him out of wrestling. But it's just every time somebody comes back and they attack somebody, it's I guess that's who beat him up. That's who injured him, huh? But yeah, but it, now we're right back into it with them. I thought when he came out on Dynamite, speaking of Ospreay, I was like, do you think somebody in the babyface? I mean, do you think when you make your big comeback and you're like, oh, I can't wait to beat this guy up, and then you look across the room and realize he's in the babyface locker room now? Do you have second thoughts? Does anybody pull you aside and be like, I know you're mad at Mox, but you got to understand, Mox
he's been really cool these past couple of months.
He's been organically over with the crowd, all right? And I don't know what to do with it, but you might want to think about that before you just run and beat him up.
It would be it would be more hilarious if they were if Will Ospreay ran down and instead of attacking him, he just grabs the mic and it's I know you took me out last time, but you've been really fucking cool since I've been gone, all right? So I'm going to let this slide. But next time.
This was basically to bring it around to Hogan again. This was basically when Hogan came back to WWE. I mean, at the beginning of Hulkamania, when he won the title from the Sheik. They debuted him, 2 weeks prior? And he came out to save Bob Backlund from a beatdown by the Sheik from the Sheik and the Samoans, I believe.
Yeah.
Or was it just the Samoans? It was just but anyway, afterwards, the last time we saw Hulk Hogan, he was a heel who had wrestled Bob Backlund. Like he was a dastardly heel, and now he's basically taking the title from Bob Backlund, and Bob Backlund has to put him over in a promo backstage, and Backlund just goes, "We all know who Hulk Hogan is, but I don't want you to boo him anymore. He's changed his ways. We talked about it. He's not going to have Freddie Blassie around anymore." And then that was just the end of it. You know, like
I always pictured him just being like very defensive, like guys, I promise he's cool. He's cool. No, don't boo him. He's all right. He's all right.
But they didn't need his advice. Hulk Hogan walks into a room in those days, and people just lost their fucking minds.
Yeah.
Babyface or heel. Anyway, the Josh Alexander injury, just to go back a little bit, was really sad because I love him, and he's been really tearing it up as a
I like Josh Alexander. That's a guy I wasn't too hip to in his TNA days, but like I definitely like the stuff he's done in AEW. So that does suck. You're right.
Man.
But Dynamite wasn't that good this week. I ain't gonna hold you. I definitely was like, and this is like a problem with AEW, right?
Uh-oh.
This is their problem.
Get your shill hat on.
Yeah, let me go ahead and shill it up for you guys real quick. They don't follow up well. Like they don't follow up well at all. Like they will have legitimately one of the best pay-per-views you will ever see. Like top to bottom, just like does not feel like $50 wasted. Get more match than you even pay for. Like in my case, like I went back and watched the rest of the MJF match with Hangman like the next day and was glad that I was able to do it. So I was like, man, there was so much wrestling. I fell asleep and there was more wrestling to watch the next day, and it didn't feel like a waste of time. Like it was something to actually watch. It wasn't just like, all right, you know who won and you fell asleep. It's okay. It's like, no, watch the match. There was some crazy shit that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be that good. And then without fail, and we have talked about this to death on the show and been called shills for it. But I don't know if it's the fact that the show's on a Wednesday and the shows be on Saturday or Sunday or something like that, but there is just a massive disconnect. I can't tell you the last time. It might have been like back in like the Punk Cody era or those eras of AEW where they followed up strongly after a good pay-per-view on TV.
Yeah.
There's never any true follow-up. And maybe that is a product of having too many matches on the show. Maybe that's a product of folks going back home to recover after a lot of matches or injuries.
Like why it
or
wasn't
anything
interesting
like
after the PLE or pay-per-view, whatever. I mean, listen, it wasn't a great show. There were a lot of there's a lot of reasons for it. I think they were coasting off of Revolution for a lot of it.
They
like,
shouldn't. They should not.
I know.
The
But I think
follow-up is what matters the most. And I don't know if you do a show on Mondays or earlier in the week or something like that, but there's just too long of a disconnect. And the disconnect, I think, is definitely rubbed off on AEW creative and its wrestlers. It's like, I don't know, maybe you need to have a show on a Monday or have a show like that week, just so you're still in that mode and you still have like that whatever it is that you need have from the pay-per-view.
They should do a special Sunday or Monday show on HBO Max every time they do it. Just a 30-minute show. Forget the wrestling. Just do the storyline advancement. You know, like you can get through it in an hour easy.
Man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense the next
You could really innovate too. Do it all backstage. Like make it look like shit's happening like at the presser or post press conference. Just like found footage, or like whatever. Like it could be great. There was some good stuff on Dynamite. I don't want you to get that wrong. I mean, listen. After Ospreay made his comeback at the show, I was very excited to see him back. Excited to see him feuding with Moxley once they remembered why they were feuding. And the last thing I was particularly interested in was a 8-minute Blake Christian match. Like I know that every Ospreay match is great and we're happy to have him back and it's good to see proof of concept that he can actually wrestle. But like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you can just let him talk when he's like accidentally the best talker in the business. Just like send him out there with a microphone. Like I just didn't. That match seemed sort of. I mean, it was a great match. It just seemed sort of unnecessary to me. Sometimes you have good matches just to have them, but I don't know. I feel like you got to protect Ospreay a little bit. Moxie and Yuta, and Yuta's he's wearing the briefs now, got the shaved head. He's like that my favorite era of Danielson when he had the beard, but like the not shaggy hair. Remember that when he had the beard and the sort of close cropped hair and in WWE.
You talking about Team Hell No?
Yeah, or just the early beard days, he still had the short hair. You know, I thought that was. I always think that's a great look. I'm a pro bald person. They beat the Bang Bang Gang, which is it was a fun match and not so significant in the grand scheme of things, unless Switchblade Jay White tweeted or Instagrammed or something this week to let people know that like he was to insinuate that he's ready for a return.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming he comes back soon, which really sucks. It sucks. Like everything in AEW is a trade-off. It's like, oh, we're getting Ospreay back. We may be getting Switchblade back. Oh, Hangman and Tony are gone forever. It's like it's just a swap. Assuming that Switchblade comes back and aligns himself with the Bang Bang Gang, is the Death Riders Bang Bang Gang feud the one that you want to see, or would you? I mean, Switchblade could really be a top guy. It seems like all these stops and starts, it feels like he's never going to get there. But
yeah, man. And sometimes that happens. I think I put Jay White in the same category I put LA Knight. You know what I mean? Like a guy who was like really, really good. Mm-hmm. And in theory, you would think he's a top guy, but like when you actually break down the roster and break down story and how it operates,
who does he?
You ever see those memes where it's like who has to leave the table for such and such to sit down? Like that's LA Knight and Jay White all the time. It's like
people should do that. People should do that arithmetic a little bit more. Every time you're like, oh, so and so deserves to be champion. It's just like, all right, here's the people above them on the roster.
Who's off the show now because we have an LA Knight World Championship match? You know what I mean? Like, or who's off the show now because we have a Jay White Championship match? Jay White's awesome, but it's.
I would put him above LA Knight in the imaginary cross company rankings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jay White could be in the main event with relatively little work, but I do agree that there is going to be that they got to be a little bit careful with his booking. If it seems like he's being handed anything, it'll be bad. If it seems like, I just think that I think the hope is that if you really lean into the Bang Bang Gang stuff, there's just so gross and hilarious that that'll just get over and he'll be the beneficiary of a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So. The hope that it works. But I agree. As it stands now, he's not displacing anybody. Here's the weird thing to me. By the way, just shout out to, we mentioned the Mina Shafir match. That was really good. I will say this about AEW in a general sense, since we're generalizing to the negative. I said this in the Only Grabs chant. Mike Bailey versus Mark Davis. It didn't matter who won. I mean, I guess if it doesn't matter, Ty goes to the babyface. But it was such a fun match, and I love that sometimes, separate from like the most urgent storylines, AEW can give us a match that sort of feels like a reward for both people involved. It's like these two dudes, Speedball and Mark Davis, have been just absolutely tearing it up at every fucking opportunity. So let's just and in some ways they're probably like they get the least gratitude from their respective groups. And it's like let's just put them in a match and let them have fun and let the crowd just appreciate just them. That was cool. Anyway. The big thing I was going to say, though, was you had Jack Perry and the Bucks against the Don Callis family in the main event. And by the way, this is like the Don Callis C team. No offense to Roppongi Vice, but like Okada, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta are your main eventers in the Don Callis family. Like this doesn't make any sense at all. You should have had, and the reason they did the whole thing was so that the Bucks could come out, say we're for the 100th time, we've rediscovered ourselves. We're going to get the titles again. And then Edge and Christian came out and cut a promo. Now listen, it's very fun and exciting to have Edge and Christian in the same ring as the Young Bucks. It's tantalizing, some might say. But it shows the sort of level of priority, or maybe the level of desperation, not desperation, but like you can see how the seams of their priorities are showing.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that promo battle as your functional main event, and you have the Darby Allin Gabe Kidd coffin match halfway through the show. Like couldn't you just have swapped those things? Couldn't you have just had Edge and Christian come out with the Young Bucks and do the whole thing? And then end with the Darby Allin Gabe Kidd coffin match that actually feels like a main event, like feels like something significant? Am I crazy?
No, you're not. It's weird though. I understand wanting to capitalize off like the heat of what you just got from this last tag team match with the Bucks, FTR, and the returning Cage and Cope, right? But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's and here's the thing, I sound stupid because like I'm saying certain things could have been done better, but I don't have any better ideas. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any better ideas because
what to do with Cope and Cage or what?
Well, in proper follow-ups and being able to like really like I'm just gonna try and think real logically then think that okay, they don't want to go head to head on Mondays so they can like follow up on their shows. And I don't think they're gonna do these weekly specials. So like let's just make Wednesday work. What would you have done? Kaz, what would you have done on Wednesday to make these proper follow-ups? And my answer is I don't know, but not that. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that is the difficulty there. Like maybe it's just not going to. It's not going to make sense anyway. Whichever idea you come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, it feels. I mean, all the answers are sort of rote, right? I mean, but like, I feel like it'd be much more energized about Edge and Christian. Sorry, Cage and Cope, if FTR came down to the ring and said, like, listen, you a-holes, you can't interrupt our stuff, and then Edge and Christian just ran in again and attacked. Like keep it basic, or just do the Edge and Christian are banned from the building shtick and then let them come in anyway in black hoodies. Like just do something. It was cool to see them and the Young Bucks interact. And I guess it makes sense. That's what you do with one of your weeks of time to kill before they actually get their hands on FTR. Or maybe we'll do a triple threat. Maybe that's what they're introducing here. But yeah, I mean, it never felt like a main event. I mean, I guess I sat there just like wondering in real time, is like the Adam Copeland bump that much? So significant for AEW that you would put that on in the main event? Like you'd put like a CM Punk promo in the main event? Like, is it that big of a deal? Because otherwise, why are you not just leaning into what really would make people want to watch the show, which is like Darby Allin, like having an insane match, having an insane coffin match, right?
Well, he did. And then he said, I'm coming after the world championship to crickets.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that was crazy. He had this insane match with Gabe Kidd, who I've said on this show, still kind of warming up to. But as far as AEW concerned, that was probably one of his best showings on American television.
For sure.
On the AEW side. But I was shocked nobody reacted to him saying he's coming after the world title.
I think we just didn't hear him. Sometimes your brain removes things that you don't want to hear.
Well,
what do you think? Darby Allin. Well, I guess now that Hangman's gone, there's a spot there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Darby Allin over the past. When did I start loving him? 6 months ago or something like that. He's been absolutely on fire. Everything that he does is great. I feel like him going after the world title is just going to make me real meh on him again. Like they finally found a perfect little niche for him. And now they're going to like shoehorn him into shit that I don't really care about watching him in. But I don't know, maybe he's been very good. He's been very good. So we'll see. I think he's just better. I mean, people compare him to Jeff Hardy all the time. He's just better as a guy like Peak Jeff, who just sort of flits around the main event and then, gets called into action to wrestle the champ kind of on a random event. And you're just like, holy shit, this is crazy. I didn't think this would ever happen. But,
I don't know. He's more like Sabu to me. He's like a little suburban Sabu.
Ooh. Suburban Sabu. This is a good gimmick.
He's a suburban Sabu.
This is a wrestling movie. We had Suburban Commando. Let's do Suburban Sabu.
Oh man, it's like teenage angst Sabu. That's Darby Allin, right?
No, just Suburban Sabu gets it. It's perfect. It just like it's a whole generation
rolls off the tongue.
Jagoffs with skateboards. It's just there's a little Suburban Sabus, man. They grew up watching Jackass, like that's their thing.
That's a fact. But yeah, nah. I like Darby Allin too. It's just I was just shocked that the crowd didn't like react to him like calling his shot because I kind of feel like
take notes,
that
man.
was a story they were talking for a while.
Yeah. But also again, like why are we announcing this? Why not just have him just like go unless you're testing the waters? Why not just have him assault MJF? Like, why do you never ask permission in wrestling? Because that's never going to go over. Like, what? Like, hey guys, I have a plan. Yeah. Like, no, like, I have a new goal in my career. No, it's like, no, you don't. Who cares? Who cares about your goals? Go do the thing. That's what we care about. Watching the thing happen. All in all, maybe not the best Dynamite. Maybe not the best, but I enjoyed it a great deal.
I'll tell you what was great.
You know what the other thing that happened on Dynamite, though?
What was that?
Your guy Swerve.
Okay, now this got my interest.
If he's gonna fight Kenny Omega, then he said then Kenny's got to put his EVP title on the line. First of all, I just love how your executive vice presidentship is something that is able to be put up for. It's not that you have to quit.
But you wrestle for it.
You're going to wrestle for it. This is like the Klingon space vessel. It's like whoever wins the fight is in charge. It's just hilarious. Like, doesn't Tony Khan get some say in this? Aren't there some other board members who could be like, no, you can't. You can quit, but you actually can't give it to somebody else. You know, like that's a weird gimmick. But all that said, I don't know anybody that didn't hear EVP Swerve and immediately just get so many incredible ideas, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that was one of the best things they did on the show because I immediately saw the vision for President Swerve, right? Like, I think there's your doorway to getting Hangman Page back in the world title picture. You know what I mean? Like, I think, if Swerve wins, he'll have that power to sort of do that. So at least we now know, all right, you can wrestle and become an EVP now, apparently. And I don't think
people would have been demanding this stipulation way before.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh wait, I can do that. Like, there's a bunch of people that probably beat Kenny Omega. Like, whoa, I didn't even know you could do that. But yeah, Swerve is going to be a very, very funny president if it happens. Because executive vice president. Because like you said, like him and the Young Bucks had a violent moment last year, a couple of violent moments in the past couple of years that kept them from the championship. So the dynamic of Swerve and the Bucks becomes great. Obviously, the Hangman stipulation, you have an out now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have an out to sort of like make that thing for real. If Swerve
the EVP Swerve could reinstate Hangman if it came to that, whatever. Maybe it seems a little bit too on the nose now that it's happening so quickly. But yes, EVP Swerve just feels like a Dave Chappelle sketch. Like, what? Isn't this just one of his Black President sketches? It's just going to be hilarious. Yeah, no, I think that there's
coming
a
after
that. No, but I think Swerve just being like totally straight, like for shoot, like making changes to the backstage culture or whatever would be would be just fantastic.
They needed a regime change storyline for a long time. Like, I thought they were teasing it with like Tony Khan when he started to get physical. And they had the EVPs in charge, the Young Bucks in charge for a little bit, but they've needed to lead into late 90s corporation versus union ministry type of shit with Tony for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I think it just gives the show a fresh shakeup and just something interesting to talk about and fight over.
It also gives Swerve a sort of main character thing to do that doesn't involve the title. So there's a lot of upside here. I mean, it's funny to think if he were like an EVP and he's a heel now. I mean, the thing is, I feel like if he's an EVP, he's going to get back over as a babyface. No matter what they have him do, it's going to be inherently like funny or established. Like you were saying, like it rocks the establishment enough that that I think it'll just get him over. But if he were the heel EVP and he were a successful heel authority figure, does this eventually lead to like an MJF Swerve clash where like MJF is Stone Cold Steve Austin? Is that where you're going with this? Or
possibly.
Do you think Swerve, by getting inside the machine, is going to turn himself into the Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I think he's going to turn himself into a Stone Cold Steve Austin because he's kind of over already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, for sure.
He is already over. So, but I don't think people are like really booing Swerve like that, even though Swerve is trying his best to become menacing and dark and evil.
Dude, he's doing like he has done more straight up heel shit in the past. Well, you can go back a long way, but he does more heel shit than anybody else, and just the most despicable stuff. You know, like I mean, just he wants to get booed, and the fans are not always having it. I mean, which is not a knock on him. Just weird. That's just the reality of where they are right now. Okay, what else? What else? We didn't hit this in the injury news earlier because it was recovery news. WWE has a little bit of recovery news. It looks like Braun Breaker they're cautiously optimistic he will be available for WrestleMania.
Okay.
I mean, listen, good. There's still a lot of question marks when you're recovering, especially recovering from a hernia or whatever. It's like, it seems to me that like Braun Breaker, like walking around is automatically at risk for rupturing whatever sutures are in there and messing up whatever progress has been made. You put him in a wrestling ring, there's no number of pairs of compression shorts that will save him from ripping that thing back open if there's a question. So they got to be careful with him, right? But it's clear with the Seth comeback this week, that which I think I talked about, which was, it was really cool to have him and Brock go face to face. So you're considering the Seth versus Brock match, and then all of a sudden Oba comes in and swipes it, makes Oba feel so much more significant in just a real subtle way. But it was clear from the Seth and the stuff they've done with Seth and Heyman that they don't have a specific plan for him. I mean, it's clear that Seth is going to fight somebody from the Vision, but it's either Braun Breaker gets back and takes that job, or one of the other dudes has to do it. Meanwhile,
well, they've already started talking about Theory and Logan Paul going after the tag team titles.
Exactly. And also Logan Paul, I thought, was already busy with Tom Brady or whatever the hell they're doing there. But
I think we're getting some Brady eating in WrestleMania, son. Like I think Tom Brady's either going to be in the corner of the Usos, or this is just one big swerve, and we get heel Tom Brady in Vegas. But would it make sense? He wouldn't get booed in Vegas. Tom
Brady, not so dissimilar from Dennis Rodman. Is going to be the guy who weirdly puts the lie to all the wrestler measurements, by the way, because Tom Brady's out there just like, no, I'm going to show you what a real 6'4" looks like. Right. He's going to look like he's 7 feet tall when he comes on WWE TV, because he's skinny too. It's just to be a very strange
he's going to tower
look
over Oba Femi, and we're all going to be like, this isn't working.
No, he and Oba Femi do not get to share the ring. They will never be next to each other. Tom Brady's only going to stand next to short people. But yeah, it's got to be really funny. So yeah, maybe he'll be out there yeeting. But I'm just imagining him yeeting next to the Usos and how much bigger than them he's going to be. That'll be interesting. But yeah, so I guess we will combine those things. So I guess it's got to be Seth. They've got to be hopeful that it's Seth and Braun. Otherwise, why would this news have come out? They're obviously just seeding the ground a little bit for the Braun stuff. But that's good news, right? I mean, heck.
Yeah. I think WrestleMania needs Braun, and I think WrestleMania needs Seth. And I think they're toying with Seth right now because the putties, his masked man putties that are like, protecting him, are kind of telling the story that like he's not all the way there yet. Like he's back, but you can tell he's not, or they're trying to tell the story that he's not like fully healed. Like,
okay. I'm going to give you some odds here. What is the over under on Braun Breaker returns as one of the dudes in the hoodies?
Oh, I think that I think that's a push. I think that's,
that's a guarantee.
I think that's a guarantee. Like, I think, they're going to have all these, the way that they're moving around like putties and trying to cause mass confusion. Like clearly one of those guys are going to spear the shit out of him one day. You know what I mean? And then we're going to have to add to that montage of masked man reveals throughout the years. And what's going to be Braun Breaker. And he's going to point at the sign and it's like, yo, it's go time, son. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's more than a guarantee. Even though you don't want to miss that pop of his music coming out and, barking and all that type of shit. But I just think the way they've been playing into like the way that they use confusion as a tactic and hiding Seth and all that type of shit, like that's a prime position for Braun to like emerge and say I'm back, bitches. You know what
Would
I mean?
Braun be scarier with his dad and his uncle standing behind him? Should they just bring back the Steiner brothers as like 60-year-old enforcers? I feel like they're scarier than like. Don't you feel like how old are they? 65? Brian,
yeah,
get
they're
on
both in their 60s. Yeah.
Don't you feel like old Rick and Scott Steiner are scarier than like the authors of Pain?
Not at all. I think one of them, Razor, I want to say. I think Razor just had like a bare knuckle fight this week.
Oh, really?
and whipped his ass. Yeah,
I'm not
like
saying
legit
legit tough. I just mean that like I don't know. I would fear.
It's the history of knowing them, like the Steiner brothers, knowing what we see. So
also just like big old guys. It's like yeah, like so you might be like an old guy, be like I used to get in lots of fights, but you look at a guy like guys like Rick and Scott, and you're like, no, they never stopped fighting.
It's funny. I saw Scott. I think I was waiting for you, Dave, last year in Vegas. And I saw him walk past, and he still looked like he just stands out.
Still big Papa Pump, son.
Yeah, man.
Like he might be a little deflated through old age, but he could definitely whoop an ass or two if needed.
A little bit.
You know what I mean?
I just said Big Papa Pump. He spoke. I was like, this is one of my favorites, but yeah, he still looked like.
You know what's crazy is that he might be like every gimmick in wrestling is stolen at some point. He might be the only guy ever that will pull off the chainmail cowl gimmick, and that was such a good look.
Why he deserves high points on the Goot list
because of the chain. He never made it that big of a deal, and there were a lot of times during his WCW career where it felt like they were just throwing all the gimmicks into a bowl and just seeing what they could get to pop or whatever. But the chainmail on a jacked dude is one of the straight up coolest things that's ever happened. And I don't think anybody can ever do it again except for Braun Breaker. Or I guess Scott's son. I mean, Rick's son is going to be Scott's son is going to be a wrestler, maybe. There's another Steiner in the
Scott's son. Medium Papa Pump.
So maybe he inherits it. But it's one of the coolest things ever that nobody could rip off without being called a ripoff. Like you can do anybody's special move. It doesn't matter, But if you're just like, I'm a new tough guy and I just borrowed this look from Scott Steiner, I feel like
maybe Jordan Grace swears it her WrestleMania debut.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
big.
I feel like a woman can pull it off a little more because women historically, like in videos and shit, have worn like chainmail type things as like a fashion, as like a fashion statement. But Scott Steiner was just the coolest. Like he was the toughest guy in the world. He's the only guy that you could just look at in those days and be like, he probably sleeps in chainmail. He's probably just like looking for anything else to toughen him up. Anyway, that's enough about them. So I do hope we have Braun Breaker back, which was we're so far from that. I'm not even going to try to segue back around. The one thing that's still up in the air, and this is my big note that I was just like so perplexed by. So as they're reporting this, they're like, and the plan for Gunther, who was the other potential Lesnar opponent, has long been a Rey Mysterio match, which you floated, Kaz. But it's unclear whether or not Rey Mysterio is going to be healthy by WrestleMania. I didn't even know Rey Mysterio was hurt. Like, I got to have the hurt wrestlers tote board up or something. But I thought he was just off TV. Is he like legit injured?
That's what the streets are saying. They're saying he is injured.
So we're working towards a Gunther Rey WrestleMania showdown that we don't know if it can happen. Is that right? They're just booking it. It's just like the Braun Breaker. I guess that.
I only have one suggestion to save that match.
Yes.
The only way you save Gunther's WrestleMania, you have him interrupt AJ Styles' Hall of Fame speech. You have AJ go do his Hall of Fame speech, yada, yada, yada.
One more match?
You have Gunther come out, ruin it, you know what I'm saying? And AJ just has no other choice. He was like, you bastard, I went home, you got your last match, da-da-da-da-da. This ain't gonna be a match. I'm coming to WrestleMania tomorrow and I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna come fight you. There's no bell, it just is straight Piper and Goldust, like just brawl. No ref, you just have them just fight each other for like all throughout the stadium, you know what I mean? And then like, technically, it's not a match. You could
even do the match. You could even have the thing where he interrupts the Hall of Fame speech, and AJ's just like, I know this is a sort of legalese that doesn't actually matter, but it would be a perfect wrestling storyline. If AJ was like, I thought you might try this shit, and that's why I haven't even put on this ring yet. He's like, I'm not retired till this thing goes over my knuckle, and he's like, I got you tomorrow.
Right. And you're right. And and Gunther could still hold on to the career killer thing because he technically did kill the career, because this technically won't be a match. It'll just be a fight.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? He just comes out and they just fight each other throughout the stadium. Freaking, parking lot brawl. You know what I mean? He doesn't got to take no bumps like that. He can just, really just do lots of bells and whistles to kind of make it a thing. And then, you get a nice little happy ending with AJ Styles. And at the end of the match, he takes the ring, he opens the ring.
And puts it on his finger. There you go.
And then walks out.
And then he snaps and half the people in the arena disappear. Yes, that would be fantastic. I think that's a really good idea. If they can't do, and maybe the Rey thing is just a cover for this. I don't even know. That would be really fun. If not, if Rey Mysterio, if that was the plan, if Braun Breaker actually ends up not getting back together, not getting healthy, do they just put Seth versus Gunther in the ring and just be like, you guys both lost your opponents. We'll make up a reason why later.
It's possible.
It could be. What else do we got on here? Oh, did you see the news that Tony Khan tried to bid on WWE when they were for sale, or
Yeah, I didn't take too much stock into that. You know what I mean? It just kind of seemed like a nothing story.
I mean, you'd be conducting bad business if you weren't trying to get involved at some level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I don't know. I don't know how real that was. Like, I know it's probably a legitimate offer, but I don't know how real or how close it really got.
No, I think it's a better question of like how real the sale was. I mean, it's like I think that they already knew where they were going.
Yeah,
that would be the conspiracy theory, not like anything about the Khan's bid was fake. It was more about just whether or not WWE was really at all on the open market.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What does Brian has? Oh, Caesar Sikoa, better or worse name than Jacob Fatu? Go, Brian. What do you think?
Jacob Fatu. I like that name. It's better.
I'm about to say, I'm team real name here, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely Jacob Fatu.
I'm glad they did that. And by the way, I'm glad that it's worked out for him, because now like everybody, like the audience has had no difficulty understanding who Jacob Fatu is, despite the fact that his last name is not Sikoa. It's the audience is not that dumb. You can do this kind of stuff. And it's especially rich that you think you need to change everybody's name to, I mean, obviously they didn't do this. All the MFTs have their real names except for JC Mateo, Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi. So anyway, that segment, I mentioned it earlier. Let's get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Brock comes out as like Heyman's muscle against Seth Rollins. And I think everybody in the world was like, oh, so many people are hurt. We're just doing Brock Seth at WrestleMania.
Great swerve.
Yeah,
Great
but you
swerve.
would think, but it was risky. I agree. It was a risky swerve because it risked the fans having Oba come out and the fans going, no, we'd prefer Seth versus Brock. Like it's not like what? Why,
I don't think any fans would have done that. I think ever since they announced the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge and they were chanting for Oba.
I know. But at the same time, it's like these two of these guys are way more famous. If you're 10 years old and watching wrestling, you might think Oba Femi is the coolest guy ever, but like certainly you think that Seth and Brock are bigger stars. Anyway, when Oba Femi came out, I thought it did an incredible job of putting him over. Like it made him look like, no, I'm more important than this big thing that could potentially be happening. And it was really cool. And then Brock allowed Oba to just freaking steamroll him. Everybody's pointed out online when he told Oba to put his foot on his chest, you could see Oba being like cautious about it, and don't want to wake the beast here. And the beast incarnate was like, no, put your foot on me. Let's make this stuff happen. Oba Femi versus a motivated Brock Lesnar could be just an insanely good match. You agree?
Hell yeah. Brock Lesnar, and this is the thing, right, that I think people have been doing a lot with him every time he comes out. We always like to test Brock Lesnar's enthusiasm level for the people he's got to sell for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of times we have to test the enthusiasm level for people smaller than him that he's selling for. And if he's selling for a smaller guy, we're all like, Brock respects that guy. He likes that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, Finn
Not
Balor,
John Moxley.
not
John Moxley.
not John
Although
Moxley.
I'd love to see. Wouldn't you love to see Brock versus current John Moxley? That would be a hell of a match.
I think Brock and current John Moxley would be nuts. But it's funny, right? Like a guy like Oba Femi, he hasn't had to like bump for a guy like that in a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I think the closest you probably could have got was, and why there's always a little bit of hesitation is because like you kind of saw when he doesn't feel like bumping for another big guy with Braun Strowman. You know what I mean?
Doesn't always look good. Doesn't always
look good. But this shit was perfection. Like Oba marches down to the ring. You could he has a look on his face that I haven't seen since he's gotten hot. Like he's always had this like look of like confidence, but like this was more of a look of like he was wide-eyed, like coming down to the ring while doing his strut. And then he hits that perfect fall from heaven, fall from grace, pop-up powerbomb. And bruh, roof comes off.
Yep.
Brock is selling his ass off. Like you could tell he probably hasn't gotten picked up like that in a long ass time. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever. I mean, probably the Undertaker is the only person I've seen somebody get Brock off his feet like that smoothly. And not for nothing, Brock does a lot of the work when he's doing that.
Yeah.
When he's selling for the Undertaker like that, like he might have, Brock might have got a couple plant stances on Oba's shoulders, but Oba did, made it look like $1 million. And immediately I'm like, I have a match of the weekend. I have a match that I'm looking forward to more than almost any other match on that card. Yes, that is going to be the Kaz Big Meaty Men Bumpin' Meat special, 7 to 10 minutes tops. With entrances. You know what I mean? Like, I just want that shit to just be a full-on car crash between two monsters. And I want and I don't want it to be the only one. I want to see a trilogy. Like, I want to see these guys.
Oh, I think you wanted more big meaty mid matches at WrestleMania.
No. I want this to be the beginning of a long feud.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I want this to be, I want Brock and Oba to sort of be like the battle of the monsters sort of thing for a long time, especially if this match goes as good as it can. You can't start an episode of Wrestling TV better than that. Like, they answered a lot of questions. We got Heyman out looking fucking crazy. The Vision comes out. The putties get hit. Brock comes out, knocks out Seth's putties. Seth is just standing there like, all right, I think we're getting Seth and Brock. He's kind of cowering just a little bit. He's kind of like in the corner, like sort of like the hell's about to happen. You know what I mean? I'm in this ring with like two monsters. And Oba almost gets like the closest I could. This might be a blasphemous comparison.
I'm sure it will be. Go ahead.
Only because of the way it ended. But like when Bret Hart lost to Yokozuna and then Hulk Hogan came out to save him. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of in peril. And it's not, and it's less
one
about
of Brian H. Waters' favorite moments in wrestling history.
Legendary moment. It's less about I'm coming to save Seth, and it's more about like I'm coming to whip this guy's ass, and you just happen to, and this is just my opportunity. Like this is the time to do it. So it was just perfect, man. And man, they've been building that Oba Femi Brock Lesnar moment for like the past year and a half. Like since the first, what was it? Dijak Oba, was it Brooks Jensen match from Stand and Deliver a couple years ago? That was the match when everybody was like, this guy's the shit. He's probably going to main event at WrestleMania one day. You know what I mean? And he's having your first WrestleMania match against Brock Lesnar says a whole lot about how they feel about that guy going forward. So,
especially because Heyman just announced at the beginning of a month ago, he's like the new most important match at WrestleMania after the Undertaker is Brock Lesnar match. And right away it's like we're booking that to a rookie. We're going to hand that to a rookie who's going to ride from here. I agree. It should be a series. I'm going to preemptively say, don't be mad if Oba Femi loses at WrestleMania, because they'll obviously book him. And if he loses at WrestleMania, it's because he's going to win at SummerSlam. You know, it's like there will be a get back, but there'll be people complaining nonetheless. And regardless, as long as you end it in such a way that like both dudes took all the damage and Brock Lesnar just barely won or something, you know, Oba Femi is the guy that's going to show up the next night. Brock Lesnar is going to go back on vacation. Oba Femi, just by sheer perseverance, is going to seem like he was the winner. You know, I mean, he survived. So I just preemptively don't get too weird about that one, but I'm very excited about that too. WrestleMania is finally coming together.
I'm back and forth on that, yo. Like, I think there's people who are like, he has to win, and I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of those people that feel like, oh, if he doesn't win at WrestleMania, it's a waste. I think, you know, there's a way that you can have him not win and still come out looking like $1 million for everything you just said. Like, he's going to be on Raw the next day, and it is Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like, you do want to save that match for something with some real sort of stakes instead of just, let's just see who the baddest dude is between us two. You know what I mean? Like, so I can see a world where like Oba beats Brock for the world title or something like that, or something, you know, like, and it has to make it look like, you know, and win, lose, or draw, Oba has to look like Brock's equal, and almost something minuscule or something like that plays into his youth is what costs him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm not one of those folks who feels like it'll be a waste if he doesn't beat Brock Lesnar in his first WrestleMania match. Guys.
Well, yeah, you're short-sighted if you do. Anyway, we got to get out of here. We got a big SmackDown tonight. Just to mention, Randy Orton will be explaining his shocking attack on Cody Rhodes. I love a good explanation segment. Let's see, Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium. What happened to this fucking tag division? Ever since they just gave the belts to the MFT or to the Wyatt Six and transferred all the tag action to the Wyatt Six MFT's feud, which maybe is over, or maybe we're saving that for like WrestleMania 45 or something. I don't know how long that feud's gonna go, because the MFTs are taking on Priest and R-Truth for the tag titles. Priest and R-Truth is just the epitome of the team we threw together so that we can get these guys on WrestleMania in one match, right? Am I crazy to say that?
I don't think you're crazy, no.
So we get Priest and R-Truth against the MFTs in a rematch or whatever at WrestleMania. That seems like it's done. The Bella Twins are taking on the Irresistible Forces for the women's tag matches. I mean, tag titles. Is anything going to happen here? The Bellas aren't going to win, are they? Or are they?
I kind of feel like we're getting
multi-team?
A multi-team sort of, you know.
Yeah, me too. So do the Bellas have to win to keep that fresh, or to keep themselves viable? Or they'll just work themselves in some other time. I think the Irresistible Forces going in with the titles really makes a lot of sense. But I guess you could imagine the vision of the Bellas, the old icons, having the titles, then we'll get to see who dethrones them or something. Anyway, Jacob Fatu, the aforementioned, and Drew McIntyre are set for a wild showdown. I don't know exactly what that means. And most importantly, more importantly than any of the rest of this, Kit Wilson's going to call out Jelly Roll.
Oh, buddy. You excited for that?
Well, I think I'm glad that Kit Wilson has officially raised himself to the level of I get to fight the celebrity at WrestleMania. You know, he deserves it. He's good. He's very good in that role. So Jelly Roll, I could kind of do without, but whatever. I'm not the target demo for that one. Let's get out of here. Kaz, you want to get your plugs in?
Yeah, man. You can catch me on Mornings with Mero every Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. on Hot 97 every day. That's my word. Brand new episode of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn is out right now with the wonderful Aldous Hodge. Check that on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. And that's all I got. Oh my gosh. And tomorrow I'll be on commentary for Heels Have Eyes 11, Fourth Rope. You know what I'm saying? Let me run down this card real quick. We are taking over the ECW Arena in Philly, 2300. The 2300 Arena, as it is now known. On the card, we have Joe Alonzo versus Oni King. We got Zamaya, Mara Sade, Top Tier Tiara James, and Alexis Littlefoot in a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender for the Fourth Rope Women's Championship. We got Starboy Charlie versus the Real One for the Flyweight World Championship. We have Ninja Mac taking on Gino Medina. We got the Infantry taking on 5150. And special guest DJ Drama, Beanie Siegel, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. And yeah, it's going to be a packed ass show, man. Come to Philly. Come to 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, man. I'll be on commentary with my guy, Ernest the Cat Miller. It's going to be a fun show.
That sounds awesome. Philly's not too far away. That's interesting. Anyway, thank you, Kaz. Thanks to our producer, Brian H. Waters. Thanks to our EP, Ben Cruz. Thank you all for listening. Finn Balor's going to be okay. Boo your mama. See you back here next week, humanoids.
Hey.